Here we have the Schrade Clench. This may be the multi-tool everyone's been waiting for, and it's already here. Let's get started. So here are some of the cool tools that Schrade used to make in the United States of America. They used to make it for craftsmen, for different other companies, but they were Schrade tools. They made some really nice heavy-duty tools. This one right here especially has a 5/16 inch bit driver, which is one of the only ones I know of in the industry besides Klein's Blackfire. They had some really neat characteristics. They were heavy-duty tools. Very, very nice, a little bit different, but they had some great characteristics. Well, sometime the company got sold, everything went overseas, nothing is made in the US in their multi-tool line. I have heard their knives are coming back to the US, but their multi-tool line is still entirely made up overseas. Now we get little tools like this. This is the Schrade keychain tool. This is the ST12 TSA right here. This one right here, I feel like is one of their junkiest tools they ever made. It's just really bad. It doesn't even fold in here. It's spring loaded. It won't even fold all the way. Got these little tiny implements. I think I tried the scissors out and they're really bad. I mean, they're almost worse than like Dollar Tree scissors. And I think they want like 20 some dollars for this as well. Not a fan of this at all. It feels like everything's already broken when you pull it out of the package. Not good at all. Now, I have seen, I'm sure in the past, the Schrade Clench, but I had the impression that it would be just as bad as this right here. So I really wasn't interested. It really didn't pique my interest at all until I got interested in someone who had modded a tool, and I was convinced it was using this plier head. I'm not sure if it was or not, but that's what I thought at the time. So I bought this tool, and this is actually Schrade's most expensive multi-tool they make now. This is $45 on Amazon. I think it's more like 50 some dollars on other places. What we have is a set of spring-loaded pliers, but before we jump into this too much, I want to go ahead, pull out the scales, let you know why this is a little bit more of a special multi-tool. Now, one of the things we see from overseas tools is usually they're always very heavy, but this one comes in at 6.5 ounces. Let's put on something like Leatherman's Skeletal. This is 5.2 ounces. Definitely, it's not as light as the Skeletal, but this is definitely a lot lighter than some of the clones we've been seeing from overseas. Comes in at 183 grams. So it is a much lighter pocketable tool. Now, some people have said this is essentially the original design behind Next Tools main tools. Now, theirs come in at 250, their flagship pros. When we, let's see, change this to ounces, comes in at 8.9 ounces. So you can see that theirs are considerably heavier. Now, what we have right here is not only, again, the spring-loaded pliers. On the end here, we have this Phillips bit. I don't know how I feel about it, but at least you do have a screwdriver. You've got a fairly nice pocket clip, I guess. It does have a little bit of movement in it. So, again, you can see that this isn't extremely high quality. Then what we have right here is a pair of scissors, and this does have this flat screwdriver bit on the end as well. Let's go ahead, wrap this up right here. Let's do some tests with these scissors. I actually have not tested them because I didn't even buy this tool to keep it together. I actually bought it to tear it apart. So, all right. We can cut through the rubber. Let's do some other tests. I've got this Harbor Freight strap right here. These scissors aren't inspiring me too much. I guess if you hold it just right, it can get through there. Let's try some paracord. And it does cut through paracord. I definitely feel like this is nowhere near the same power, cutting power as the Next Tool flagship. It does have huge scissors, but I don't know. If you hold them right, they actually do cut through seatbelt. maybe part of that is make sure you're holding them the right way. I don't know. Maybe not too bad. They are definitely a huge set of scissors. So again, we had the spring-loaded pliers. We've got the Phillips on this side. We've got the flat screwdriver on this side. We've got those huge shears. We've got the pocket clip. We do have this very unique handle scale. I don't think I've seen this on any other multi-tool. Now, this right here reminds me almost of like a crocodile skin. I know that sounds weird, but it's not leather. I think it's metal, or it's probably a plastic of some sort scale, but it is textured to, I guess, increase the grip. Now, on this side, we have very cheap file. It doesn't look very good at all. Bottle cap lifter, that's pretty much all. That tool probably is basically useless to me. Then we do actually have a knife, but this does not lock. None of these are locking tools. This would be perhaps good in some overseas countries, perhaps. Overall, maybe I would give this a 5 out of 10. It does have some pretty good characteristics. Definitely some of them need improved, maybe a 6 out of 10, or maybe even a 7. It's not as bad as I thought. Now, this tool, basically useless right here. This knife, I don't think it's that great, but it does have some pretty unique characteristics. Now, in the multi-tool world, we see essentially not many competitors to the Leatherman Surge at all. Most all the clones are going for the Wave or the Surge or the Signal at this time. There's basically no competition in the lower end of the market. And if there is competition, they actually end up more like the Leatherman Squirt. But this middle ground, really there isn't much competition. Now, the Schrade Clinch right here does come in actually a little bit over 4 inches. Over 10 centimeters as well in length. So it's definitely not a very small tool. Like the SOG PowerPint is definitely a little bit larger of a tool, but I do feel like it does have some added capability that if you want a far cheaper alternative to the Leatherman Skeletal, I mean, this right now, some versions are going for $90. Specialized versions, the Topo versions are discontinued. People are charging $120, $130 for it. If you want far more than half price, the Schrade Clench might be the option you're looking for if you're willing to put up with the fact that some of it is far from perfect. It is, it's an inferior tool, but you do get scissors of some sort as opposed to the Skeletal, which gets nothing. But you do get some added capability. Let me know what you think. I've got a goal to hit 20,000 subscribers this year. Could you help me reach that goal? Thanks, I appreciate it.